Welcome to you all. Welcome to Kulavai 2002. Voicing Silence, which has been involved with women's theatre, gendered theatre, feminist theatre, call it whatever you like, for the last 10 years, is celebrating its 10th year with Kulavai 2002. Kulavai is a get-together, a celebration which we have been having for the last few years. It's an interactive women's festival. It's women coming together, theatre persons. It's people in theatre who have interest in women's issues. It's activists, social, cultural, political activists who want to use theatre. It's all kinds of people who love theatre coming together on a common platform. Every Kulavai we have had a special focus, a special theme. This year the theme is Women Directors, and Kulavai 2002 features 3 plays by 3 leading women directors from different parts of the country, and at the same time a sharing through a seminar, and the seminar is entitled Towards a Feminist Theatre, which is seeking new directions, exploring, coming together, talking about and interacting on feminist theatre.
नाटक लिखना मेरे बस का रोग नहीं, क्योंकि नाटक लिखने लिए बंदा बहुत चालाक चाहिए।
In 1996, when as part of Voicing Silence, we planned to hold Kulavai 96, bringing together women directors and people generally working in the field of theatre, theatre as activism, and theatre which seriously takes women as a nodal aspect. It was the second festival, if I remember right, because there was only Expressions, a festival organized by Flavia and Madhushri Datta in Bombay. That was the only precedence we had in 96 Kulavai. But then we are in Kulavai 2002 now, and Kulavai itself, this is the 4th Kulavai, and we have been having almost like one women's theatre festival or the other in almost all the states, even in South Indian states, state sponsored. This itself I think is a clear marker as to something is happening. It is becoming a phenomenon today, and I think it's time that we study it. And I'm sure Kulavai 2002, because it's concentrating on women as directors, it's going to kind of throw light on things that we need to study in the years to come in a very, very conscious way. So I'm really happy that from practitioners of theatre, we have now come to women as directors.
In 96 I was here, and we did the play Rudali, an inauguration session, and I was there in seminar also. Took part in seminar. My team left, and I participated in seminar, and that was a wonderful really feeling, because we were sharing everything in that seminar. It was a big seminar, a lot of people were there from all over India, and I enjoyed every moment of that play, and this is the second time I'm attending this. So again this time I'm feeling like at home.
I feel great, and I feel great not only interacting on an intellectual level. I mean, I have not been able to meet these women and meet my friends from theatre for very long, and it was such a great opportunity for me to meet them again and spend so much time with them, and of course to catch up on what one is thinking and what one is doing in theatre.
Well, I think, considering that I'm also working in this field and I'm a woman, and additionally I've been trying to look for what women are doing and their language and their expression specific to them. For me, this is a very valuable opportunity, because to meet so many women directors together, to have a forum where each one is talking about their work, to find a forum where each one is being able to talk about their work, and it's a very nice, informal, warm atmosphere where actual interaction is possible.
A question that was thought over is, what do we all mean by theatre? Theatre has different meanings for everyone. It's a different form of expression. There are different ways of looking at it, of understanding it, and of expressing it. There are many conceptions, many expressions, many voices in theatre.
Theatre is a mode which does, one, create a lot of, brings people together. That's one very important thing. And two, that it is a very good forum for exchange of ideas.
Theatre cannot push a society where it works from out of its ethos. It can only feel that it has achieved something or created an awareness if it is an integral part of the ethos.
I don't know whether theatre changes very physically, but theatre certainly changes mindsets. It makes people aware, it makes people think, which is the beginning of change. Now, it has to be sustained, and sometimes it works as a catalyst, just like it worked for me when I read the book, that it made me think in so many directions. So I'm sure that some people would be moved by that and think about it.
I read, I think, was it Ritwik Khatak? I'm not absolutely certain, but I think it was him, the great Bengali filmmaker. He said, there are 4 layers to any creative expression. The first is the narrative, the story. What happens next? What is the story saying? The second is society and politics. The third is philosophy. And the fourth is the mystery of creativity. So there are many layers to any production. There's rhythm, there's sound, there's internalization, there's movement, there's text, there's color, there's costumes, there's the visual sense, the emotional sense. So it's a very multi-layered kind of thing.
I don't believe in theatre which is meant to be performed only in festival sectors, because I believe that theatre belongs to masses. It has to be performed in front of people and not in front of 25 intellectuals.
Theatre is very thinly balancing between activist theatre, artistic theatre, and your commercial theatre. And all three have found a space to survive.
Any theatre which gets a house full is labelled as commercial theatre. I don't like this term. I don't agree with it. I do theatre for Indian audiences, for Indian people, and I'm happy if I get a house full. I do theatre with entertainment. I do theatre with aesthetics and a profound theme.
I like clarity. Clarity not in the sense of a narrative which is so uninteresting. Intricate narrative, but the intricacies have to be expertly modulated. I like ambiguity, but ambiguity which is articulated as ambiguity.
And I happened to see a production that Ibrahim Al-Qazi had brought to Chandikar from the National School of Drama. He was the director of National School of Drama, an iconic figure in theatre. So it brought this production, and I was totally and completely fascinated by the energy, by the commitment, by the ease with which the men and the women chatted with each other. You know, one lived in a provincial city, one had always viewed the opposite sex with a certain kind of trepidation. You know, it was a very feudal, patriarchal kind of structure that one grew up in. So it was so fascinating for me. So more than theatre, it was a desire to be part of that environment.
It's a very good mode of social awareness, dialogue, debate. And in our country today, we really need that. In the present atmosphere, political, social, cultural atmosphere, we need an atmosphere of debate, atmosphere of questioning, which the theatre generates.
We have been looking for an aesthetic. Where do we stand? Do we choose something that has come to us from outside? Or do we choose something that has existed for centuries in this region and forget the intermediate past in the middle? Or do we try somehow to make a marriage of these two? And after a great deal of struggle with myself through confusions, I tried for this marriage between what I was brought up in and what was traditionally a part of this country's or this region's past. In the process of this, I never focused consciously on the question of gender.
Again, what do we mean by feminist theatre? Are we just referring to the phenomenon of more and more women in theatre that we see today? Or do we mean that women are being projected in a different way? Do we see a different sort of representation? Women, characters played from a woman's point of view? Or are we talking about the stories, the themes, the content, the choice of subject matter which has special relevance for women? Or is it something much more vague and difficult to explain than that? Is it an ideological perspective, an approach, a way of doing things? Is there something which we could call specifically a woman-centered perspective, a feminist theatre?
Feminist theatre can be a genre, you know, in the sense you talk about absurd theatre or angry theatre or epic theatre of the Brecht. But I think it really points out to a body of work which, if you take it collectively, it's going to give us pointers to certain definitions.
For me, at this point in time, what is very crucial is the actual aesthetics of the feminist theatre. You know, one is the social aspect of it, which is the problems and things like that. The other is the actually artistic part of it, which is that how do all these factors affect ultimately the language of these people, language in the sense of the expression of these people, expression of all of us, not just the others. And that to me gets more and more defined the more I hear what others' experiences are and what is inspiring them or what is kind of governing their expression.
Just because you are a woman director who's directing a play that is woman-based, is it a feminist theatre? And to me, in a large sense, it is not. Not all of it is feminist theatre. There are pockets of feminism which we are still grappling to discover within the whole narrative of it. That is also because we are as people trying to move away from the Eurocentric definition of what feminism is. We're trying to find our own definition for feminism, and while we are doing it, it is obviously the middle class elite women who have the scope to do it. Because A, we have the education, B, we have the terminology, C, we also have the forums to do it in.
Chennai பெண் இயக்குனர் அதெல்லாம் இருக்காங்க. இப்போ கிராமத்துங்களில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பெண் இயக்குனர் அது மாதிரிலாம் கிடையாதுங்க. அங்கே வந்து கூத்து கம்பெனிகளில் வந்து நடத்திட்டு வராங்க. அங்கே இயக்குனர்னே சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, வாத்தியாருங்க அப்படியே ஆண்கள் தான், பெண்கள் கிடையாது. இப்போது வந்து இந்த சமுதாயத்தில் இன்றைய காலகட்டத்தில் வந்து இளைஞர் சமுதாயத்தில் வந்து பெண் இயக்குனர்லாம் வர்றதுனால ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்தாங்க.
Well, I mean, more women directors coming definitely make it less lonely, because then you are not alone and there are many more there, and I think it is a very encouraging sign that more and more women are taking to direction, which was generally considered to be a male's world. I think this is because women have a lot to say, and I think when you have a lot to say, you try to say it, and this is one of the ways by which you can articulate, express yourself, and also reach out to audiences. And I think that is why more and more women are, of course, getting courage to take up an area which was earlier a male area.
We're going to look at the fact that women directors are coming into theatre. There's 2 or 3 ways we can look at it. In terms of role models, the fact that there weren't that many women directors before, and now more and more are coming into the field. For someone who's entering the field of theatre, that's very positive. It's very positive because that's a possibility that opens up to you, that you see obviously. Perhaps the obstacles of becoming a director in the field are less because the field has been opened up by other women directors before you. So in that sense, I see it as very positive. If you ask me in terms of how does it change theatre, I'm not sure. I think the potential for change certainly is there, but I wouldn't be comfortable saying that just because somebody is a woman director, it changes the theatre ethos or the theatre aesthetic. There are enough women directors who, if you see their play on stage and you don't know it's a woman director or a male director, there's no necessity that you would, automatically think it's women director.
I cannot notice the difference. I cannot see the difference because I am a woman, and I am going to be doing it in the way that my own instincts and my own politics make me look at a woman. So I cannot say that I am doing my play in a way which is different from what a male is doing it. It's only when the play is seen and somebody in the audience can perhaps discern the handling of the text, the woman-oriented text.
So my sense is that, even though I'm not at all conscious whether my portrayal is different or same, my feeling is it would automatically be different than the way men would portray, because it's, it's closer. Closer to life and to actually your life. So I think the whole concept of putting them in an image, stereotyping, would be much less. Like simple thing, if I was to portray a man, there would be a certain stereotyping that, as a man, maybe, he's insensitive, maybe he'll be violent to you, that's how it happens. Though we try very hard that doesn't happen, that just as we try to see women objectively as a whole, we try to see men as well. I don't think there is much point in doing a play about women or portraying women unless I'm able to see them not as a stereotype. I mean, that women will respond like this, women to badi sentimental hoti hain. Now this is a stereotyping.
I enjoy more with working with women, and sometimes I ask them why you are joining my group. They said yes, we get a lot of training here, and I think working with women directors, that they feel a kind of security also, as they are male of this society, this male dominated society. They have this, sometimes I find in layers there, some of them, they have this ego problems.
I think what a lot of women directors do try and do, which is important for those who are in theatre, is in the process part of it. Because part of the ethos of people consciously thinking of themselves as women directors is to work in a less hierarchical, more collective way, trying to break power structures that already exist and make the work far more sharing.
The attempt is also to break up the authorship of the director as woman in the working process, whereby no single hand is seen in the process. There is not a single authorship either of the text or indeed of even the character.
On the one hand, we think we need more women and therefore that will make a difference. Though I totally agree that you can't think of feminist theatre as a ghettoization process. You know, when women get very defensive and say, oh, I'm a director, I'm not a women director, or the theatre that I'm doing is not feminist theatre. I think they're actually kind of responding to feminist theatre as a ghettoization project. But I think when I'm doing theatre, I don't think of myself as doing feminist theatre. I am a feminist and therefore it comes up on stage. But then when I call myself a feminist, I'm also aware that there are different shades of feminisms in the country. You know, I mean, I don't think there is one category of the woman. So just like how you need to have feminisms with no capital F, but feminisms with a small f, I'm sure even feminist theatres could be a better word rather than saying the feminist theatre in India. So there are bound to be as many different feminist theatres as there are women who are in theatre, both as actors, as directors, as performance spaces. So we are just looking forward to that stage of many voices that would be heard.